Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset, hosted by Deborah and Moira. This podcast is designed to help listeners unlock their full potential, both personally and professionally, so they can thrive, not just survive. Deborah and Moira explore how natural tendencies don't always serve individuals and provide insights on how to harness existing strengths. Their goal is to equip listeners with the habits, mindset shifts, and strategies needed for lasting, meaningful change. Finding purpose and fulfillment can be challenging, but this podcast offers expert conversations, practical advice, and valuable tools to help align with a true sense of purpose and create a more fulfilling life. So grab a notebook, open your notes app, and get ready to take in some game-changing insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hi.
Hello, lovely. Here we are with another one of our Deliciously Motivated Mindset podcast conversations. I'm liking the topic that we're going into today. I think this is going to be a good one. And of course, Deb's very certain on this one. We're going to be talking about speaking your truth with unshakable certainty. There's such a power in that. As you say it out loud, speak your truth with unshakable certainty. But if you've been with us before, you know that we like to come into what I like to think of as heart coherence. What we're doing is we're dropping out of our chattering minds, coming into our heart space and connecting our energies collectively. So I encourage you to put one hand or both hands over your heart space and take a nice deep breath, intending that you're breathing into your heart, breathing that in, and then maybe even just sighing it out of your mouth, allowing yourself to take a wee pause, landing here in this present moment, breathing in, letting go of any shoulds or woulds or have tos, musts, ought to, letting all that go, just showing up for yourself here. And then with your next in-breath, intend that you're feeling into, connecting into the collective energy that is actually always there. We just need to take a wee moment sometimes to connect. Still with your hand on your heart. And you could deepen this by having another hand on your belly so that you really anchor into your body, into the physical spaciousness that is you. And take another nice deep breath, intending that you're connecting with all of the other people's energies listening to this, regardless of when or where. And connecting with my energy and with Deb's energy. Breathing that in, breathing that beautiful, loving, connected energy into your heart space. And then sharing your beautiful, light, loving energy with all those around you. And one more, feeling the support of whatever you're sitting or standing on. And then I really encourage you to adapt that, to find a way of anchoring into that. I just saw a post the other day on Facebook that was suggesting we do something like that twice a day for about 5 minutes each time, at least twice a day. And I thought, oh, only twice? But it's such a beautiful way to just really come out of, like I was saying about the woulda, coulda, shoulda, or the listening to the inner chatter or the stress or the anxiety stuff or this discombobulation going on around us. So now that we've landed in here and created a wee bit of heart coherence, we invite you to reach out and grab your favorite note-taking device, because we want to get into discussing and offering tips and ideas and strategies, inspiration on Speak Your Truth with Unshakable Certainty.
I love it. 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 And I think tip number one, strategy number one is clearly hand on heart.
Mm-hmm.
Hand on heart. And I actually got myself in a little bit of a pickle this week. And the first thing I did was hand on heart. I just went straight to my hand on my heart. And then all of a sudden, I know the pickle, I'm not going to share it, but all of a sudden that pickle, what I say pickle, not like a pickle, wobble,
The wobble, yeah.
just disappeared. Literally, it was not
Cool.
a problem. And so I really would love to emphasize to people, hand on heart is something you can do quick, slow, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be done publicly. People don't necessarily have to know that you're going through something going on. You're just putting your hand on your heart. It's not. You're not going to stand out
No.
with that. And it just, for me, it means I can stay under the radar and still deal with my stuff, whatever I'm wobbling with,
Well, yeah.
internally, without everybody going, "You okay? What's going on?" You
Yeah.
know,
It
for what is.
it makes me chuckle because I remember working with a client a wee while ago where when I was really getting her into the rhythm of hand on heart, I always
Yeah.
remember her saying, "Oh, for God's sake, Moira, it means I'm going to have to go around all the time with my hand on my heart." And I said, "So be it. So be it. Can you just be okay? It doesn't matter. Don't judge how often you
Just put
have."
a sleeve. Just do one of those when you have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
broken arm and he goes in a sling. Just have that. Just
There you
constantly
go.
just sitting on your heart. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
But you know what? We've talked about this in previous episodes, Deb, where it's a really important strategy to bring into just an automatic reflex. It's an
Yes.
automatic reflex to me. I don't have to say, "Oh, wait, I'm discombobulated or I'm having a wobble, so I need to do this technique of putting my hand on my heart." It just happens without me even getting into any kind of what's that technique?
Well, yeah. So for me, it's just you don't have to think. It's just instant. If somebody, it's now ingrained in my brain
Yeah.
that if somebody's attacking me or I'm attacking my own internals, whatever it is. But if it feels like I'm wobbling or about to wobble, not necessarily when I'm like it's any level, it's when you start to think, oh, this is not going to go down too well. The
Yeah.
moment you say to yourself, oh, this is not going to go down too well, instantly, hand on heart.
Yeah.
Even after you've said it, during you've said it, there's all those parts. But even just before you get that, oh, I don't feel comfortable about this, hand on
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
It's and even if you and I'm going to say, although I don't often say the small and big things, think of it as a small thing. Think it every time you have a negative thought,
Yeah.
or every time you start going, this is not for me, or anytime you question and you start getting a little bit no certainty, you're not having any certainty, put it that way,
Yeah.
then yeah, unshakable certainty is your hand on your heart and it just goes, okay, I live here now,
Hmm.
what am I going to do? And if you can't feel that and if it doesn't shift pretty quickly, um put more pressure on your heart, squeeze that fricker, you know
Definitely. Or lean back in your
you know,
chair. That's another really nice one. Like if you've
oh
got your
yeah,
hand on your heart,
yeah,
lean back in your chair.
oh
And
yeah,
that's
that
almost like
instantly,
your heart space is being sandwiched now,
yeah.
right?
We're both doing it. If you could see us,
We're
we're not
both doing
doing
it at the
you're not
same
doing it,
time.
but we're both literally going back there, going, "Oh yeah, okay, wow, I can do that." But I think if for these tips we give you, there's many times people book calls with me and they say, "Oh, it's taken me a year to talk to you," and I'm like, "A year? Oh my God, why would you wait so long?" But I understand, you're scared of getting dealt with properly,
Stuff
no.
happens. Stuff
Sometimes,
happens.
yeah, that's it. But the moment you start to have that uncertainty, don't wait till you get yourself in the tornado and you're standing in the eye of the storm or you're amongst that storm. The moment you start questioning, just put your hand on your heart.
Yeah.
And if you can practice that with the quotation small things, when it becomes big, it's just going to be a natural given. And
Mm.
I think that's the reminder of ourselves. I don't like to say small things and big things because they're just things. We
They're all
label them as small
things.
and big.
Yeah.
But if you can, the moment you start to get that wobble or start to feel it or have that lack of certainty,
Hmm.
or I'm going to say that shakeable certainty, not unshakable.
Yeah. Yeah. The
When you
wobble.
have
The
that shakeable
wobbly
certainty,
wobblies.
yeah, that's it. Then hand on heart, and it's just a quick. I mean, I'm sure people, listeners, did you put your hand on your heart when I was talking? Because if you didn't, I want you to do it now. Just let's all do it now and then just breathe. Just breathe. Breathe in through the nose, pause for a bit, breathe out through the mouth, pause for a bit, and just do that.
Mhm.
And you can feel instantly.
what this is, the reason this is so important.
This is why I have Moira, because she tells you the reason to do things. I just tell you to do them. I love this. Yes.
It calms your nervous system. This
Mm,
is us calming our nervous system. When we have the wobbles, when our certainty is wobbling, or we might feel trepidatious about sharing our truth. That's what we're talking
yeah.
about here. Speaking your truth with unshakable certainty. You have
Mm.
the right to share your truth. But
Mhm.
when you are feeling discombobulated, or you're, like I said, trepidatious. I use that word a
Yeah.
lot too, with
Trepidation.
discombobulated. um, our our nervous system is on high alert. There's like nerves are jangling. Maybe
Yeah.
your heart's pumping. Your inner dialogue's going blah 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 blah. And calm your nervous system helps you come into the present moment and go, huh, I'm not in danger. I am safe. I'm okay. I'm here. And all of that happens when we do something tactile, like placing your hand on your heart and focusing
Yeah.
on your breath. So this helps to come out of your head, because that wobble,
Mm,
that anxiety laden thought process, it's in your head. It's
mm,
not where your power is,
yeah.
right? So that's
The
kind of
powers
like,
in the heart.
yes, power is in
Yeah.
your heart, and the certainty is in your heart, right?
Mm.
And the truth is in your heart. The, there's the trifecta.
Everything's in your heart. Yeah. Yeah. But, and I think when you have that presence, and it is about being present, when you have that presence, that's when you can start to see things clearly, because prior to that, you're in that storm, that's not a pretty storm to be amongst.
Yeah. And that's that whole thing of the clarity, or you can still see if you're standing in the eye of the storm,
Yeah.
right? So come to
And,
presence to me is like the storm's still happening.
mm,
The chaos, the crazy making stuff can still be happening, but you being present and being in that center spot, you kind of go, oh, it's all whirling around me, but I can still have unshakable certainty that I've got this. I don't
yeah.
necessarily need to know exactly how, because the hows will make themselves known as we anchor into the present moment. And maybe that's all you can do is put your hand on your heart, take
Yeah.
some deep breaths, and say, I've got this.
Yeah. And I think reminding yourself, I've got this,
Yeah.
is another is a bonus. I think if we're looking to speak our truth, with unshakable certainty, there's one thing I've noticed with people, and that's over explaining.
Mm.
And so if you
Yes.
can stop over explaining yourself,
Yeah.
because when you're over explain, when people are unsure of themselves, we justify, we defend, we over talk, and we just get ourselves into a pickle. So if we can just go, um, this doesn't need a long explanation, just be clear and respectful, speak my piece. Um, there's so much going on that I just can't do this right now. I trust you understand, or this doesn't work for me right now, or anything that just shuts it down without going, I can't do that because of this, and this, and going into a big, no one actually wants to hear your drama.
No.
We just want to know, can you help us or not? Like, I'm just going to be very truthful. We're not interested in your drama. You can or you can't. Okay, I get that. So if you can stop over explaining yourself, it can just shut that right down, that condense. There is so much clarity given and certainty that people understand exactly where you're at, what's happening, and they can cross you off that list right here, right now for that event or whatever it is.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing that I often notice. So this tip I just wrote down is,
Oh, yeah.
I really encourage you to be willing to be disliked and disapproved
Oh,
of.
yeah.
Because that
Yes.
propensity sometimes of wanting to explain is because you're looking for somebody to say, it's okay, I get it, I understand.
Yeah.
But maybe they won't, regardless of how much you explain. In fact, I have a book on my, oh yeah, see, I have a book on my bookshelf.
That was actually popping out more than the others, by the way.
So that, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
This book, and I'm showing it to Deb,
Oh,
the book is called The Courage to be Disliked. How to
yeah.
Free Yourself, Change Your Life, and Achieve Real Happiness. That's so totally aligned with Speak Your Truth with Unshakable Certainty, because it can sometimes feel like an act of courage to just stand up and say, hey, this
Well,
is
it
me.
takes a brave person to speak up. I say that often, but it also takes a brave person to not speak up as well. But it is. It's like you need that courage to speak up, but you actually don't need courage. You just need to speak people. Okay.
But this is about coming into what I've often talked about worth.
Yeah.
It's about being worthy of saying, I don't like that. I don't align with that. I don't prefer that. Not in alignment with what's running right for me. And if that means that you're sitting cuddling your cat and everybody else is off doing their own thing, that's good.
Yeah. That's
Right?
yeah.
It's because that's coming home to your authentic self. That not everybody's going to like you, not everybody's going to approve of you. That's
Yeah.
okay. There
Well,
are people
well, I
who
think, I
do.
mean, yeah, and I think when I do this, I think of duality. You can't get light without dark. You can't get good without
Yeah,
bad, blah, blah,
precisely.
blah, 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 blah. This is me
Rob.
shortening it. So you can't get people who like you without other people who don't like you. There's an equal amount of people who don't like you as there is who
100%.
like you. And I'm not saying focus on those who like you. I'm saying see the other side. Exactly what Moira's saying. See those who dislike you and be okay with that. And they're in that pot.
Yeah.
And the others are in that pot. And it evens itself out. Now I'm not saying, okay, I've got 3 people who like me. I now need to find 3 people who dislike me. You don't have
No,
to go on a
no,
whole journey of
no.
this. I'm not saying this because that's not going to give you any certainty. Well, it's going to give you certainty that I know what I'm talking about, but trust
Yes.
me, just let's just cut that down. But you're right, when you can actually see that people don't like you. There's people I don't like. There's people who are colleagues of
Hmm.
mine that I don't like. And that's still okay. I still function in their world because you might not like your boss or your whatever you've got close, and that's okay. But you can still pick and choose how you want to play in their world as they play in yours.
And that's such an important one because so I'm bringing in the 4 agreements here
Oh,
because
awesome.
that one is so much about the don't take things personally, right?
Oh
It's
yeah,
that,
of course.
and then of
Yes.
course, speaking your truth is being impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
But the thing about don't take things personally is about, yes, I am not everybody's cup of tea, and everybody is not necessarily my cup of tea. But it doesn't mean I'm going to say, get out of my space because I don't like you. But
Absolutely.
I'm going to be discerning
Mm,
about what I share or what I take in, right? So
yeah.
it's about energy etiquette here too. I can be in environments where there's a little bit of, oh, I'm gonna talk to this person on to that level. And
Yeah.
then maybe this person gets to have this type of vibe or this type of conversation. But we have, and that's about being being
Mm,
discerning with what you share and what you interact with, right? Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah, it does. I think yes, you're right, 100%. And I love the 4 agreements. I think we should just have a podcast just
Yes,
on
we
the four
should.
agreements. Just
We
we
should.
really
That
should.
stay tuned for that. We'll do that at some point.
Stay tuned for that because they look they're gold. And I think the 4 agreements haven't been in my life or maybe 10 years, 15 years or maybe I don't even know.
Mm.
But I use them daily. I think about the things I say or do or actions, and then I go, 4 agreements, giggle, giggle, giggle. There it is again. And I think when you can just take ownership of that sort of stuff and actually go, okay, let's have a look at what this is. Let's have a look at what this is. That allows you to see things differently. But what I want to what are the tips I would like to share is when we're talking about speaking your truth with that unshakable certainty. And it's slow down before you speak. And this is a tip from my beautiful mum, who's told me the last couple of weeks while I've been down there with her in the South Island, slow down, slow down. Let me listen to each word you're saying. Slow down. You talk so quickly. Let me just take it in. And I think I think, thanks, Mum. Thanks, Gail.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I think about that, and it's true. If I can just slow down and choose my words with authenticity, then it's going to help. But also pausing before I go to answer that question, when you ask me something, not just in a sentence, but when I actually ask me something, it actually gives me that clarity, that little bit to allow my nervous system to settle down, and they come more from a grounded certainty rather than a stressful wobble.
Yeah, 100%. And this is something that I've had conversations about before, is that sometimes from a public speaking platform, if you like, there's a part of us is that I'm going to lose their attention if I don't fill up every second, every moment with content, with words, with something. But the power is in the pause. Right? And so if you are communicating, you want your words to land. You want the person to connect with you. And the best ways that I know to do that is to just, say something, present an idea, present a tip, maybe a strategy, and then just tell the person, hands on your heart, breathe that in. How does it make you feel? And we've talked about this before, that not every tip or strategy that Deb and I share on these episodes are going to resonate with everybody. We know that.
Yeah.
But it's being willing to just go, do I like that? Try that. Try it that way. Try doing multiple times throughout your day, hand on your heart and breathe.
So just the hand on the heart, even just whenever, like just anything, a tip, and just start doing it.
Yeah.
Just start doing it and just go, okay, right, I'm going to try this today. I'm going to try this today. Oh, just for today.
Just for today.
Just for today.
Just for today. And then also, how does this make me feel about me? It's one of my favorite questions.
Yeah.
How does this make me feel about me? So and that actually helps you get into this speaking your truth with unshakable certainty. Because if it makes me feel nervous or anxious or wobbly, then it's not really for me. But I can only get to that awareness if I try it.
By being present and looking at myself again.
Yeah, with the how does this make me feel about me?
Yeah, which I giggle because guess what I've got on my post-it note right in front of me? I have 4 tips on this one post-it note, and these are actually, how does this info make me feel about me? Which is to say, how does this make me feel about me? Hand on heart is my next one I've got to do. Heart coherent. And then my favorite one is what would love do?
I think they all come from Moira.
I was just going to say, and they all come from somebody in Canada. They all come from someone in Canada. And there's literally a post-it note that just sits on my desk here. But what would love do? And I think going back to that, what would love do? Going back to that.
Yeah, I love that one.
It's just another one to go, okay, not ego, not a-holeness, not humbleness, just what would love do? There's no above or below, it's just right here in the middle. I think when we're looking at what we are, our breaking our unshakable certainty, you've got to get clear on what's actually true for you. And this has become more and more.
Yeah.
Is this my truth? Is this someone else's truth? Is this something that's a temporary truth? Is this something that I can unpack? Like, get clear on what's actually true for you. And I think, I believe the more you know, the more truth you know, the more it matters to you. It is easier to speak with certainty rather than people-pleasing obligation for others. It just comes from your own soul.
Yeah. And that's such an important one, because that's circling back a little bit to that sense of of worthiness.
Yeah.
Because sometimes what will create that sense of truth it could be an inherited piece, or everybody thinks like this in my family, and sometimes those are kind of sneaky, right? So when you assess what is your truth, really sink into it, lean into it, maybe even put your hands on your heart and lean back in your chair and say, where's this come from for me? Is it really authentically mine?
Yeah.
Because
And
that's what I'm
most of the
saying.
time, it's
not.
And that's it. When you do that, I was laughing because I was just thinking, yep. And when you get to a point you've done all this work, you go, this is not mine. Oh my God, how long have I held on to this for? What?
Yeah.
But then when you get to that point, don't feel bad about yourself. Go, yay,
No.
celebrate and move on. I'm just going to tell you that you've held on to that story for so long, and it ain't your story. It never was your story, but you got to laugh at that stuff.
You do. And so that's actually, I think this needs to be a tip all by itself about the celebrating and having gratitude, because doing those types of exercises about just what is truth for you, and sometimes, like
You
you're
have to
saying,
laugh. You have to laugh
you have
because
to just
otherwise you're just going to be rocking in the corner, sucking your thumb, and it's not going to be pretty for anybody. Pardon to all those who sit in the corner and rock and suck their thumbs, but
But if that's what you got to do, it's okay to do that too.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the thing too, is that we are all on an evolutionary path. And so it's so important to just show up. Who are you here?
Yeah.
And then who are you
Show up.
here?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, show up. And we go through different paradigms, different situations. We're in different environments. We're in different connections. And as we do, it's so important to show up and find out, who are we in this?
Yeah.
You're listening to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, here to help listeners unlock their full potential so they can thrive, not just survive. They've shared some very powerful insights so far, so it's time to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and jot down any key takeaways. What's one piece of advice that stands out to apply right away? Before wrapping up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from everyone. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how listeners are putting these insights into practice. Let's dive back in and finish strong.
I am now in a phase of my life that, actually was just talking to somebody else about this recently. I had no idea that I was going to be sitting at this stage in my life and living on my own. But it's my evolution on this is, wow, this is really an invitation to deepen my own awareness of me, just me. Not me as a wife, as a partner, as a caregiver, or it's me, just me with my cat.
Yeah. Me with my cat.
But you see what I'm saying is that it's coming back, and you've been doing this often in our last few conversations, is the coming back to that presence. It's being present to, okay, this is what's going on, and then coming into that sense of, how do I feel? Well, sometimes
And truthful.
Yes, and truthful, absolutely, with unshakable certainty. It's like, and not, and this maybe is a very important one too, is to, sometimes when we share with somebody, and it can be done in a real well-meaning way, but it can, what I'm saying is that if I said, oh, I'm feeling so weepy, I'm feeling so alone, I'm feeling so stuck, a lot of times people will say, oh, all you have to do is this, or just do this, just do this.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't resonate, you cannot take it on. And like I said, sometimes those things of just do this is coming from a caring space. But if it doesn't vibe for you, don't take it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So just for today, pick one, people. pick one and run with it, because that's it. But I think, when I talked about truthful as be truthful, you're talking about being present and being truthful. I think the truth is you have to tell yourself the truth, because there's no, like, if you want to lie to other people, whatever, but you got to tell yourself the truth, because you're the one who has to live with your decisions and actions.
Mhm.
And I think when you really pull that back and you're going, oh, I can lie to my mum, or pardon mum, you're just going to get in this conversation. It's easier. I can lie to my mum, but I can't, I have to tell the truth to my dad. Really assess. So this is a part of that celebration and gratitude, is really dig in and just take a good look at it. Take a good look and go, what is the truth here? Where does this come from? And dig into that. And that's where I'm going to say Moira and I turn into
Mhm.
helpful, because we are here. We can spot those wobbles before you even spot them often. You can even start talking stuff, and we've already found a solution for you, because you're just normal, just saying. Like everyone else, we all have the same stuff. But I think that's the thing. But you have to look at, why do you think you need to agree with people? And this is the thing. So I want you to detach from feeling that you need everyone to agree with you,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's a hard one. You're then trying to recruit people, and you're going to get more and more frustrated. So if you can, hear people, and you can say things like, I hear your perspective, but my view's still the same.
Yeah.
So really, if you don't think, I want you to practice this, practice, practice, practice. If you
Mhm.
don't think you can do it to your family or something, watch the news, read the news, watch a movie or something, and find something in there that you don't like or you don't agree, and just say, I hear your perspective, but I'm sticking to my view right now. So you
Yeah.
can actually practice against the TV till you can hear your own voice, check in with your body, and just practice and practice until it becomes so natural that when somebody says something to you, you're just going to go, I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to stick to what I prefer. Thank you. And there's no emotion in you. There's no attack. There's no, they're wrong, you're right. There's just, you just feel present and poised in that moment. But I encourage people to practice these tips. Maybe that has to be a separate tip. Practice, 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 practice all of these, just when things happen. Don't wait till you escalate and you're in a state. But
Mm.
Moira and I are here. I don't know. There's probably 3 or 4 tips in that one.
There
Or
is a lot in there, but I like that. Even I like what you said about you can say, oh, I hear you, I hear that perspective,
yeah,
but I'm sticking to mine. To me, I might even just say, okay.
I would stop
I
if
would
you.
just say, okay, thank you. And that's it.
All we want to be seen, heard, and appreciated, or understood, or whatever, or agreed on. But
Yeah,
if you can see someone, if you can hear them, you don't have to agree with them. But if
that's
you can
right.
see them and hear them, you can go, I hear your perspective, but my view is still the same.
Mm.
Or my viewers, but practice doing that watching TV, because I'm sure when you watch the news or you read the paper or you see something online, you're seeing it and you're going to get a wobble, whatever that is. But pull that back, and just start practicing saying it. So when you do have to say it in a real life situation, they're all
She's
real
doing
life,
with the
but
quotation
yeah,
marks.
quotation, then it's you speak more certainty,
One wee
and people
piece
don't
that I
question.
would One wee piece that I would add to that, though, is about being discerning of when you say, but I'm going to stick to my truth. I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to stick to my truth. Because as you were saying that, I was thinking of certain characters that I've known that would take that as a challenge to say, oh, well, I haven't given you enough evidence to change your mind or to show you they're
Oh,
wrong or that you need to
oh
this way.
God. Oh.
And so I might not say to them, I'm sticking to my truth. I would just say, thank you,
Yeah,
right? Because now I'm just acknowledging it,
that's
but
yeah.
I'm out of the conversation.
I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
it. Done.
That's what I'm saying about the
Yeah.
discerning, because we
And also,
know,
there's people you can say things to, like, no, I'm going to stick with what I've got, and then
and they
there's
would
other
say,
ones
and they'd, yeah.
They would leave you. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
said to me, no, Deb, it's not for me, that's great.
You'd
That's
be fine. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be fine. I would rather know that it's not for you than me try and win you over by getting you to read this magazine article over and over and over again, because I'm
Right.
going to drain myself. You're going to get drained. Whereas if we have that certainty, I hear it. I hear you, Deborah. I hear it, Deborah, but I'm not going to research that, or I'm not prepared to read, or whatever. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just don't. That's it. I
That's
hear your
how you're
perspective.
wired. Yeah.
Stop. Yeah, that's it. If someone said that to me, I would definitely step away, be like, right, done.
Yeah.
But people only question when you're uncertain. They see that little gap in that concrete, and then that's where they keep pouring in because you haven't been clear enough with your communication,
Yes.
which is what we're showing here.
Yes. Yes. Speaking your
Yeah.
truth with unshakable certainty. And
Yeah.
it's coming back into that, being willing to just speak it out,
Yeah.
right? That in itself can help. It can help you get clearer on, you know, how sometimes we can hold on to something and we don't want to say it, oh, because this person's not going to like it or this person's going to do this.
Yeah.
And then you go and say it and they go, okay.
I know. You've told yourself a whole story in your head, and then you tell them, they're like, yeah, great. I'd love to. Thanks.
Yeah.
Huh? What?
What?
Huh?
What? The version of you that I had in my head is
It's not.
totally different than this. So it's about just being willing. That's what I'm saying, is it's being willing to speak your truth. So be willing to speak your truth. Be willing to feel the little wobble. You know how sometimes we can get into a sense of your heart saying yes, and yet you can have this sense of wobble in your tummy, like, oh, but what about?
Yeah.
It's when you go and do it anyway. Feel that wee bit of nervousness and go do it anyway. And you will be rewarded. It's quite remarkable,
Yeah, it is.
right?
Our head tells an amazing story.
I know. You don't have to believe it. That's the part of it, right? You don't have to believe it.
Well, actually, that's a great look. I know we're coming up to time here, listeners, but too bad. When I think about this, just when you're saying in our head, our body, if you can listen to your signals, your body gives you so many things,
Yeah.
so many, stomach knots. You start feeling resentful after you've said yes. Any of those things, tight chest, any of those things, your
Achy
body
shoulders. Yeah.
yeah,
Headache.
yeah,
Heaviness in your chest.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any of that is telling you you're betraying your own truth. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Because your body's telling you one thing and you're getting all the signs and you're like, no, 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 no. I'm going to do it this way. So listen to your body. Listen to your body, because there's going to be signals throughout when you're making decisions or actions throughout the day.
And it's almost like a muscle, isn't it? That it adds to the unshakable certainty. Is like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, when I'm in that type of situation and I ignore the upset tummy or the heaviness in my chest, that it all falls apart.
Yeah.
So when you honor it, it becomes more accessible, more immediate.
Yeah.
That if you know what a yes feels like in your body, and you know what a no feels like in your body, this is something that I've talked about before on previous episodes. But if you know what that is, and then it becomes such a beautiful shortcut that if you're in a conversation and you suddenly get that uplifting feeling in your body,
it's just like, I know what this is.
I know what this is. This is let's keep going with this one. Similarly, if you're in an environment or a situation and suddenly that no feeling shows up in your body, you realize, oh, I've just taken the detour, all right, this isn't right for me. So follow, such an important one. Your body always has that wisdom for you.
100%, 100%. It knows you way more than your head knows you. Just saying. Okay, just saying, because just saying. But we have to unwillingly, I have to speak my truth for unshakable certainty and wrap this podcast
and wrap this one up.
I don't want to, by the way. So grab your note-taking device, because Moira and I are just going to condense down what we've talked about for those brief tips.
Yes.
Now, tip number one. Did we all remember tip number one? Tip number one, drum roll please, is I've got this, hand on heart. That's
Yep.
it.
That's it.
Hand on heart. And we told a gazillion stories about hand on heart and why it works and how it works. So the tip is hand on heart, publicly, wherever, whenever, just get it done and it will allow you to calm your farm.
Yep.
Got
And
my
we did
glass
talk.
beside my head, by the way. I've just about to have a drink. That's what I was doing.
We talked also about really entraining yourself to embody that tip, make it automatic because it calms your nervous system.
Does.
Yes.
Does. Instantly.
The next one I have is presence gives clarity. That's the perfect one to come on the heels of hand on heart, because when you show up for yourself, then you get to see what really is going on, right? Because that actually calms the mental chatter also, right? So presence gives clarity.
Yeah.
Yes.
The next one I have is stop over explaining yourself. I love the way Maura's like, presence gives clarity. And I'm like, stop over explaining yourself. Okay. So they both give you clarity, by the way, and you do have unshakable certainty. So when I say stop over explaining yourself, you can just say that doesn't work for me right now. That's it. Full stop. Because when, that's it. That's it. That's all I need to say. Yeah, Deborah,
you don't have to explain it. But on the heels for that one, that's when I said, be willing to be disliked or disapproved of. And that's when I referenced this really cool book. It's by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. I'm sure, probably saying their names completely wrong. But the book is called The Courage to be Disliked, How to Free Yourself, Change Your Life, and Achieve Real Happiness. Totally fitting for our conversation.
Oh, well, I've opened it up on my computer, so when I get off this call, I'm going to order it because I'm curious to know what it says, what's the tips are. But it is, be okay to not being liked.
Yeah. Not everybody's going to like it. It's okay.
That's it. The next one was the 4 agreements I had, and the 4 agreements are vital for us. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. I think that was the first one we talked about, was actually specifically was don't take anything personally.
Yes.
Don't make assumptions and always do your best. When you can live by the 4 agreements, life cruises along a lot easier. I'm just going to say that. I just question myself. I find the truth. I carry on. That's it.
Definitely. The next tip with this idea of speaking your truth with unshakable certainty, the tip that I talked about was being discerning. So being discerning with what you share and interact with the public at large. Because in particular, if you know that somebody will try and talk you out of something or try and say, oh, your truth isn't valid. I'm discerning with what kind of conversations I have with certain people.
Well, yes.
Because we know.
That goes back to the be okay to not being liked. There's people I would say things to, and other people I'm just like, I label them wet noodles people. That's it. I'm very judgmental. Not really. I am, but I'm not. I'm judgmental. I go, you're a wet noodle. Now, have you ever tried to push a wet noodle? I want people to, when they have noodles next on their hand, put a noodle on there and try and push it. That's exactly how hard it is to try and get people to change their mind sometimes. You can be pushing a wet noodle.
Or it's something else that you've often said too, is this person a worthy opponent?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
A wet noodle is not a worthy opponent.
No, because you get more frustrated.
Yes.
You get more frustrated than that. Yeah. The next one was slow down before you speak. Thanks, Mum. But when you slow down, that certainty comes.
Yeah.
Because you're present and you're poised and you can slow down before you speak. And when you change your tone, because you're slowing down, instead of talking like this, people will hear you clearly and it will land.
And that's when I also said, I added that part, is the power is in the pause.
Mm.
Because that does, when we allow it to land, the power, so that's in the communication, but it's also for the receiving. Power is in the pause. I'm going to
Yeah.
use that as a tagline, I think.
I love that. Power is in the pause. The power is in the pause. The power is in the pause, like 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
Trademark that. The next one I have is just for today.
Mm-hmm.
Just for today, which turned into how does it make me feel about me?
Yep.
Which turned into
What we'd love
what
to
would love
hear.
do. So just for today is just for today, I'm going to try this tip. Just for today, I'm going to try this tip. Just for today, I'm going to speak this way. Just for today, I'm going to hold my energy. Just for today, I'm going to listen to my body. Just for today. That's it. And how does it make me feel about me? Allows you to go, oh, what's my feelings? What's my stirring up? What's going on inside? And then what would love do? That's your three little tips there, right there in that flow. Actually, what would love do
It's a
allows you
beautiful
to make
flow. What would
yeah,
love do? Oh, love would just give you a hug. All
love would
good.
just love you.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
you and carry on.
And
Yeah,
carry on. Yeah.
yeah. Perfect. That's and so those three tips were just one, really,
Yes,
ish.
because they flowed beautifully.
Yeah, yeah.
The next one I have is to really be discerning, to check in. What is truth for you? And this
Mm.
is when we talked about like really allowing yourself. Sometimes we need to allow ourselves a bit of spaciousness to see, is this really truth for me? Or is this because I feel like I'm obligated to believe this or follow this or flow with this? Or is it an inherited one? Because the inherited ones I find kind of sneaky in my own
Mm.
kind of feeling into is like, gosh, that's from eons ago and I didn't even like it then.
No, but the funny thing is when you do find out it's not yours and it's from way back, you're just left with, oh my God, really? Really? I've held that on for so long, and that's not true. That's not
It's
true. That's
just
all there
not
is to
true.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's
that helps with the certainty. And leading from that, that's when we talked about celebrate, laugh, and gratitude. There's
yeah.
another trifecta.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It is. It is. And well, look, you've got to celebrate. You've got something to work on because
Mhm,
otherwise life will be boring.
mhm.
Celebrate that you can get to the other side of this and have gratitude for this situation that you've got something alive within you that you get to work on.
Yeah, that
That's
everything is for you ultimately, right?
yeah.
That brings about unshakable certainty also.
Yeah, that nails it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The next one is be present and truthful. Actually, be present's one and then truthful's another, but I think all of
Mm,
ours are just blurring into one big long strategy here is being present because when you're present, you can have that certainty. Now, I know we talked about slow down before you speak, but actually be present, see, feel, and have a good look around what's
mhm.
going on and be truthful to yourself. Be truthful to yourself. I mean, if you want to lie to other people, I'm not saying do that, but I'm saying at least be truthful to yourself because some people can't handle the truth straight away until you've resolved it yourself. But that's because you're not speaking with your certainty. So be
Yeah,
present and truthful.
yeah. The next one I have is we talked about just detaching from needing to agree with everyone or having everybody agree with you. So this is when we kind of unpacked what Deb had suggested to say, I hear your perspective, I hear where you're coming from, but I'm holding my truth. And this is when I also suggested to have a wee bit of discernment in this because some people will accept that. I see what you're saying, but I'm holding on
Mm,
to my truth. Whereas there are other situations that I can think of where you might say that to somebody who then says, well, it's because I haven't given you enough evidence or I haven't convinced you enough. And so I'm not necessarily going to say, I see what you're saying, but I'm holding up my truth. I might just say, got it. Thank you.
yeah.
And then leave it at that. So that one it's open to interpretation.
Yeah. Open to interpretation. The whole lot is open to interpretation. Yeah.
Yes.
Then I'm going to suggest that you contact Moira and Debs. is Moira and I have had over 80 years experience between us.
Yes, we have.
So we can often, the moment you start telling us your problem, we can often go, oh, that's just like Billy Bob. This is what worked for him. Our head literally just goes, oh, yeah, tick, been there, done that before. We know how to help
Although I
you.
would never use a
But,
name, P.S. I would never
oh,
say
yeah,
a name.
well, just for the record, I don't even know Billy Bob. Because I
Sorry.
watched Billy
Who's
Bob
Billy Bob?
Thornton. And Billy Bob Thornton, I watched him the other night last night on TV. That's why he's in my
That's
head.
funny.
So we don't have people in New Zealand called Billy Bobs, by the way. But
But
Moira and Debs are here. We have a different style and technique when we help you with your uncertainty. So it's who you choose. We don't get offended, by the way, because we both have great strategies that help you get through. But you're not alone in this. I really can't emphasize enough how you're not alone in this.
such an important thing. That's very
Yeah.
important, actually, to
Mm.
remind you're not alone.
Yeah.
The next one is actually the last one I have is the well, actually no, this is really two. I wrote it down as one, but they're really two. I said your head tells you a story and you don't have to believe what your head's telling you.
Mm.
But that then led into
Oh, yeah.
the listen to your body. Because your body
Yes.
knows. Body
Yeah.
knows the truth.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And the second to last one, because we've got a tea bag
Yogi
coming,
tea
but
bag.
the one just before that is practice.
Mm,
Practice. Now I know we talked about just for today. Just practice these tips. Even and when I was thinking about practice, it's when something happens on TV and you want to speak your voice. So start
yeah.
practicing. Oh, I hear what they're saying, but this I don't agree with it. Or I hear what they're saying, and this is just not right for me right now. Or
Yeah.
I hear what they're saying. I hear what they're saying. I can see it. I don't have to agree. Just start practicing, even to obstacles. If you watch a Facebook Reels and it doesn't feel right for you, speak to that, because when you can start speaking clearly, it's practicing and practicing and practicing. When it does come out, you'll be like, holy gamoly, that did work.
Mm.
That did work.
Just as you were describing that, I think that might actually be a good thing to bring in a wee bit of curiosity too, because sometimes I might do something like that and go, oh,
Oh,
that's an
yeah.
interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Hadn't thought of that before. And then sit with it. Like, is it
Mm.
something I want to sit,
Yeah.
integrate?
Yeah, something that feels right. Yeah, is this do I want to take part of this or not? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's curiosity, bringing in
Yeah,
some curiosity onto it.
we love that. And
Yeah.
curiosity for the tea bag. What's on the tea bag?
Well, I actually two came out. This happened
Wow,
a few times.
we've had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
we have to start with a tea bag and end with a tea bag.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Well, they're really short anyways. The first one is trust is the question, love is the solution.
Oh.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
And then the second one is appreciate yourself and honor your soul. That's a beautiful way to speak your truth.
Oh, that.
Now I
Yeah.
see why the two of those
Yeah.
had to be there, didn't they?
Yeah, the two.
Yeah,
Well, listeners, that was a goodie. That
that
was
was a
Speak Your
goodie.
Truth with Unshakable Certainty with our deliciously motivated mindset conversation.
Hmm.
Crikey, crikey, crikey. So I started to write my little catchphrase here at
Yeah.
the end where I'm going to think this. And what I've written is, where are you shrinking your voice when your certainty's asking you to stand up?
Oh, nice.
Ooh. Where are you
Ooh,
shrinking your voice when your certainty's asking you to stand up?
I love it.
Ooh. Take
That's a
that, listeners.
and
Micro.
and then P.S. Tell us.
And then, oh
Let
yeah,
us
of course.
know. Let
Yeah,
us
then you've
know.
got to let us know, because that's yeah.
That's a doozy.
So as I wrote that down, I started to go and I was like, no, get present, stay with the podcast. Stay with the podcast. You're going to go do some work today. You're in the office. Just so you know, people. So I haven't answered that myself yet, but I will be. I will be. But thank you, listeners, for today. Thank you for joining us on our deliciously motivated mindset conversation to speak your truth with unshakable certainty.
Beautiful. Thank you, dear listeners. Thank you,
Thanks,
dear Deb.
listeners.
This has been a beautiful conversation.
It's lovely, a lovely one, a lovely one.
And thank you, Internet.
Oh yeah, true.
We'll-
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
We'll
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, where the mission is to help listeners unlock their full potential and thrive, not just survive. As the episode comes to a close, they trust you've gained some powerful insights. If you haven't already, take a moment to reflect on one key takeaway that you'll apply right away. Before we wrap things up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from you. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how you're putting your insights into action. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep thriving.